You can customize the ribbon in that you can add commands to the ribbon or remove them, or you can create your own custom tab as well. And to customize the ribbon, just go ahead and right-click anywhere on the ribbon and go down to Customize the Ribbon. Over to the left-hand side, you got a list of popular commands you can add to the ribbon, and if you don't see them listed here among the popular ones, you can click on the drop-down arrow and choose All Commands, and it's sorted, well, with the numbers first and then alphabetically from A's down to the Z's. And you can see over to the right-hand side the tabs that are currently being displayed on the ribbon, like the Home tab, there it is, Home, and then the groups, Views, Clipboard, and well, so on. And there you go, Views, Clipboard, and so on. So if I want to go ahead and add more commands to the Home tab, well, one of the limitations of customizing the ribbon is that you can't add commands to groups that already have commands on them, the default groups. So if I come over here and I say I want to add the Action Catalog, which I have no idea what that command does, but in any case, if I select it and click Add, it says you have to create a custom group. So we'll say OK, and notice that you can't double click on it. As we learned in the previous training video on customizing the Quick Access Toolbar, when it comes to the ribbon, you actually have to select it and click on Add. So how do you create a custom group? Because you have groups here that we can go ahead and add our own commands to that group on the Home tab. Well, just go ahead and be sure that you have the Home tab selected, and notice how it has a checkbox. If you don't want to see the Home tab anymore, just uncheck it and click OK, and it disappears. It's gone. Well, just go ahead and right-click anywhere and go back to Customize the Ribbon, and then check it, and then let me expand it. When you click OK, the Home tab will be there again. Now before we go ahead and click OK and reveal the Home tab again, let's create our own custom group on the Home tab so we can add commands to that custom group by coming down here, again with the Home tab selected here, and clicking on New Group. And there it is. Now I don't know about you, but New Group, it doesn't tell me what that group's all about. Maybe it's a group for all my cutting, copying, and pasting. I could call it the Clipboard group. I mean, well, I already have it. If you want to go ahead and rename it, select it, come down here and click on Rename, and I'll call it my Spiffy group, because everything we do here at Dreamforce is spiffy. And then you get a choice of symbols you can choose from. And the symbol, when you have it selected, you don't have to select it, but what it does is that it represents that group. It represents it when you add that group to the Quick Access Toolbar. As you recall in the previous training video, we did that. We added the Clipboard group to the Quick Access Toolbar, and it had the clipboard that represented that group. So the happy face is going to represent the spiffy group if I add it to the Quick Access Toolbar. So after you select your happy face and you've got the display name, click Okie dokie, and there it is. Now we can go ahead and add commands to that custom group by coming over here, of course with it selected over here, and finding it, like Find, Add, Form View, Add, Layout. I'm just adding a bunch. And then when you're done, go ahead and click Okie dokie, and let's go to the Home tab, and it's over to the far right, the spiffy group. Oh, that's so neat. The commands aren't active. It depends on where I'm at and what I'm working on if the commands will become active. Like if I'm in the table, the Find will become active if I'm looking for a particular record within the table. And so if I want to go ahead and add that to the Quick Access Toolbar, as we learned in the previous training video, just find a blank area within that group and right-click on it and say Add it to the Quick Access Toolbar. And again, we chose the icon, the happy face, and that represents the group. So when we click on the happy face, it pulls up the entire group, again, representing something spiffy. So let me go ahead and right-click on the happy face and remove it from the Quick Access Toolbar. And then if I want to go ahead and change this and get rid of it, just right-click anywhere on the ribbon, go down to Customize the Ribbon, and you can come down here, select it, and go ahead and remove it. And when you click OK, it'll be gone. If you want to recreate it, well, you'll have to do it from scratch because it won't remember it. However, if you come over here and you remove the records because you don't want to see that, the views, well, let's just go ahead and destroy the whole Home tab with all the groups and get rid of them, and then click OK, and we're like, oh, what happened? Because you're watching the training video, you can go, oh, let's right-click anywhere on the Quick Access Toolbar to customize it and come down here and reset it. Now you can reset only the selected tab of the ribbon. So the selected tab is Home tab, and just reset it back to the way it was originally, all the default groups. And that way you don't reset any of the other tabs if you want to keep those. Or you can click on Reset and reset all customizations. So if you do that, it'll delete all ribbon and Quick Access Toolbar customizations for this program. Click Yes, and it even got rid of my open folder on the Quick Access Toolbar. Oh, nuts. Let's go ahead and click Okie dokie, but hey, I got everything back to the way it was originally, so I'd have to go over and start from scratch, click on the drop down arrow to add the open command to the quick access toolbar. Now if you want to go ahead and add your own tab to the 4 that are already here, just right click and go to customize the ribbon, come down here and click on new tab, and right now it's going to be between the home and the create tab. You can select the new tab and move it down so it comes at the very end of all the other tabs. And these other tabs here that you see that aren't currently being displayed on the ribbon, it means that they will be available if you're working on something particular that relates to that tab, those commands. And they're known as contextual tabs, meaning that they relate to whatever you're working on. And so if I'm working on something that relates to the add-ins, it will display the add-ins tab. So with the new tab, I can go ahead and rename it and call it Spiffy, because everything we do is Spiffy. Click OK. Again, you can go back to the groups that we just covered in the training video here to rename it, give it a name. Go ahead and select an icon if you want, maybe a lock, click OK, and then add your commands to the group. And you can add as many groups as you want to the tab here, of course. Let's go ahead and select Form View, Add, Layout, Add. Then you can do another group, New Group, and rename that. Call it something fun. We won't select an icon on this one. And if you don't select an icon here or a symbol, by default, I think it'll add a green orb when you add that group, the fun group in this case, to the quick access toolbar. We'll test it in just a second. So we'll click Okie dokie, and we'll add open to that group and new to the group. And then when you're done, go ahead and click Okie dokie. There's the Spiffy tab, and there's the 2 groups. So if I right click on the fun group, well, in a blank area, and add it to the quick access toolbar, there it is, the green orb. That's your default symbol for not choosing a symbol. Go ahead and click on it, and there you go. All the commands in that group are represented in that green orb. And then we can click off, go ahead and get rid of the Spiffy, right click anywhere on the ribbon to customize the ribbon. And the cool thing about this is that if you want to keep it for later use but you don't want to see it now, you can uncheck it, click OK, it'll hide it, but it'll be available for later on when you right click to customize the ribbon to be able to check it and use it then. As opposed to adding a group that you no longer want to see, you have to remove it completely. So if you want to get rid of the tab, Spiffy, go ahead and select it, click remove, and it's gone. Go ahead and click OK. And then if you want to be able to hide the ribbon because you want more space down below and you don't want to see the commands, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can do Control F1, those shortcut keys, and it will collapse the ribbon. Control F1 again, expands it, or you can come over here and click on the collapsible button there, and you can see the shortcut keys there in the pop-up, Control plus F1, and you can see in that little pop-up, need a bit more space? Well, these monitors that they're making now are huge, so if you have a 50-inch monitor, maybe it doesn't matter. In any case, click on it to collapse it, and then to expand it, well, you'd have to use Control F1 because that little arrow isn't showing, so I can't click on that to display it. Or the other way you can do it, let me go ahead and do Control F1 to bring it back up, is you can actually double click really fast on any tab. Double click, collapses, double click to expand it. Or like I said, when you collapse it the other way, again, is to double click to go ahead and expand it. Now, having said that, once you collapse it, if you need to access a command on it, you don't have to double click on it to have it permanently open there or displayed. You can simply come up here and click on the tab, and temporarily it will display the ribbon here. You can go ahead and click on a command, and when you're done, you click off it. It collapses again, so it's not in your way. I'm going to go ahead and double click really fast and keep it open throughout the training videos.